A closer look at Mayor Laura Collins' political future. A memo from her campaign manager. As mayor of Port Charles, Laura Vining Weber Spencer Collins stands as one of the most complex figures in the city's history. Having been through personal scandals, legal troubles, and family conflicts, she has managed to navigate her way into the political spotlight, an office that many might have thought was beyond her reach. Her journey to political office, however, is not without its challenges. With a history fraught with both triumph and turmoil, Laura now faces the most critical point of her career, her re-election campaign. In this candid and somewhat urgent memo from her campaign manager, we take a deep dive into the issues that could threaten her political future and the tough decisions she must make to maintain her position. Memo to Mayor Collins. The stakes are high. Dear Mayor Collins, as we prepare for the upcoming election, it's essential that we address some serious concerns that could undermine your re-election campaign. In the years we've worked together, we've often discussed the implications of your past actions and decisions. Now, as we approach the critical months ahead, these issues cannot be ignored. Below, I've outlined the key challenges that may stand in the way of your continued leadership. Reason number 1. Sonny Corinthos and his criminal past. One of the most significant, and potentially damaging, issues to your campaign is your ongoing association with Sonny Corinthos. It's no secret that Sonny has a criminal record longer than most would care to acknowledge. He has a history of violence, intimidation, and illegal dealings, which have made him both a controversial and divisive figure. While you have maintained that your connection to Sonny is personal rather than professional, voters will likely remember that he is no stranger to the law. To make matters worse, Sonny's criminal actions have directly affected the lives of those you hold dear. For example, Sonny was responsible for shooting his own son in the chest, an act that left the father of your grandchild fighting for his life. How will you explain your relationship with a man who has so blatantly flouted the law, and whose violent history continues to cast a shadow over your family? Furthermore, when figures like Selena Wu choose to distance themselves from Sonny, it highlights just how dangerous and volatile his influence has become. It's one thing to publicly disassociate yourself from organized crime, it's another to repeatedly ignore the consequences of your ties to it. As your campaign manager, I implore you to address this head-on before your opponents make it a focal point of their attack ads. Reason number 2. Your changing attitude toward organized crime. Another critical element that could sink your campaign is the perception of your evolving stance on organized crime. Let's not forget that you and your ex-husband, Luke Spencer, once fought tooth and nail to dismantle Frank Smith's criminal empire. That was a summer to remember, the kind of victory that made Port Charles, and the world, fall in love with you. You and Luke risked everything to take down the notorious crime boss and his syndicate, positioning yourself as a champion of law and order. The political capital you gained from that moment was immense. It wasn't just about the success of taking down a criminal empire, it was about the message you sent. That you stood firmly against crime, that you were willing to put everything on the line for the safety and well-being of Port Charles. However, that was then, and this is now. Your current relationship with Sonny Corinthos stands in stark contrast to the firebrand politician who once sought to eradicate organized crime from the streets. In the eyes of your opponents, this shift could be seen as a betrayal of the values you once championed. Do you think voters will still feel the same way about you now that your relationship with organized crime has become more complicated? There's no doubt that your rivals will seize on this shift in your stance as an opportunity to question your integrity and commitment to the values you once espoused. It's something you must address before they do. The road ahead, balancing the past and the present. As we enter the final stretch of your re-election campaign, it's clear that we cannot afford to ignore these issues. Your past actions and your continued association with figures like Sonny Corinthos will be at the forefront of the race. However, that doesn't mean all hope is lost. You still have a dedicated base of supporters who admire your resilience and leadership, even in the face of personal and political challenges. But here's the truth. You need to make some tough decisions about how you plan to move forward. Can you continue to justify your relationships with people who have committed unspeakable crimes? Will you be able to shift public opinion regarding your stance on organized crime, or will the public's perception of your past actions be too difficult to overcome? In the coming weeks, we will have to navigate these questions with careful strategy. The voters of Port Charles are a savvy group. They'll see through any attempt to downplay the significance of your connections to Sonny and your changing views on organized crime. It will take a strong, clear message to ensure that you can keep your position as mayor, but it's not an impossible task. You've faced the impossible before, Laura. But now, more than ever, you need to face these challenges head-on if you want to maintain your place in Port Charles's political landscape. There's no room for hesitation, and no time to dwell on past mistakes. The future is what you make of it, starting with the decisions you make now. In conclusion, the future of Mayor Laura Collins' re-election campaign is at a pivotal moment. Her legacy as a politician is intertwined with her personal history, and both her supporters and detractors will scrutinize every decision she makes. With powerful figures like Sonny Corinthos looming over her, and the shadow of her past actions on organized crime threatening to define her political future, she has some difficult choices ahead. But one thing is certain, Laura Collins has always been a survivor. Whether she can navigate this latest round of challenges will determine not just her future, but also the future of Port Charles itself.